Hello everyone, I'm DarkWolfNL and welcome back to Bendy and the Ink Machine. We are still in the archive. I actually haven't left this is just the recording after the last recording session. I still am looking at this thing. So, we already read this in the last episode. If you haven't read that, seen that, just go back to the to my playlist on my YouTube channel. There's a lot of Bendy and the Ink Machine. I'm going to make a playlist of it. And I'm going to replay the game again, but with a hidden tool that I caught. So, this is Bendy and the Ink Machine, so let's go over to the first one that we wanted to go to. And that is Brute Boris. The first demon that we actually wanted to fight. So that is their concept art of a thrown together Boris, very hulkily, trying to kick our ass. I had never noticed the little details, like the little strap around his boots. Never noticed that. And it seems that he never went with the round eyes from Bendy itself, but with the cross eyes. That is like, it emanates death actually. So let's see. Brute Boris. Alice Angel's monstrosity Brute Boris was one of the biggest surprises of Chapter 4. His design was roughly based on the Frankenstein monster, but with a more unfinished appearance. Alice took parts from within him and substituted things that his body is rapidly detecting. Damn. That's the chair at the end. Boris the Wolf. Oh dear Boris. Boris the Wolf, a friend to the end, was designed using various references from the cartoon of the 1920s as a blend of West Coast and East Coast animation styles. This silent and supportive wolf won over the hearts of many. It was so fucking fun. Although at times he was a headache for the development team due to his AI taking on a mind of his own during production. Huh. Yeah, he actually went up and down with the lifts, so that is quite annoying. Beta Boris. Actually, that's the chair. I love that artwork. Papa was the original name of the character that eventually became Boris, the wolf. This early version was released with Chapter 1. He was quickly refined into the Boris we know today with the release of Chapter 2. Yeah, he was the Boris that was stuck on that wooden thing what was pumping ink out of his body while they dissected him. But the name Papa is a really weird reference. That's the ink machine. There's a little house that we saw with the guy fishing. Okay, this is Tommy Boris then. It's good to see you, buddy. Damn, you were amazing. I think he did like us, but he just had more care for her, who is our beloved Alice. This is Alice, so this differs from the Alice Angel. Oh, that's interesting. It's like here is she's like what she is here, but the Alice over here, the demented Alice, has an apron, like she's like a butcher or something. Wait, is her crown broken? I've never been so close to you. I had so much fun with you. Oh yeah, her crown is broken. I never noticed that. I wonder that this Alice, if you look through it with the glass, has bigger horns or something. That would be awesome if I can find that. Ooh, there's a little skull pattern. I like that. Hey, Sammy! You're actually moving! Aw, buddy! Sorry, you had to be put in here. You're the only one actually moving, by the way. Oh, this guy, Sammy. Sammy Lawrence's final form came complete with bulked up stature and more powerful limbs. The Mets songwriter may finally get noticed now, at least by fans. If he made this song, it's quite charming. That's the Fisher. Did he have him signed with a liar on him? Beta Sammy. With his appearance in Chapter 2, fans' favorite Sammy Lawrence became a terrifyingly entertaining character when his slim build has deemed not threatening enough. He was redesigned and given a better skeleton rig for more advanced animation. So this was the Sammy that I knew him. And I actually did notice a change actually. Because the only thing I noticed that he came more up close to your face when you were in the conversation before he was going to try to slaughter you. I actually haven't looked at that. That is you. You look even more terrifying there than you do here. That's a shame. So, this was his earlier version and this is what he made. Like now he actually has feet instead of slumbering around. Look at his posture. He's like ripped. I think his head is changed as well a little bit. He has more details in his head. Because if you look here, if it wants to focus on it, he has a little bit blocky texture. When you look at this guy, he has really rounded face structures. So I like that. The Final Searcher. The Final Searcher were far from robust in appearance. They were smoother with better ink effects and a more human appearance. I haven't actually looked at them before, but they actually did change it in this striker. Does he have a face on this? I didn't know that. I also didn't know that there was a cap in his belly. Piper. Did he miss an arm? He didn't miss an arm in the real one, right? I know where he is. There he is. I will look at him later. The Beta Searcher. Okay, there was a Searcher early. Yeah, he's more refined indeed. But I did not know they were making that face. Early in development with just a few weeks to create Chapter 2, this Beta Searcher were designed in record time. Before being fully retooled later on, they were the first fighting enemies encountered in the game. Were they? Yeah, they were. Sammy Lawrence. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is awesome. Like, that is the hand that we saw. It is more decrepit and more pointed out. This was Beast Bendy. He was a freak. I would love to have him as like a statue around my house, actually. He looks amazing. Actually, Alice, Boris, Sammy Lawrence, all the final models, I would love to have them. Exactly this one. I would love this one more than the normal Bendy. So, Beast Bendy. Ink Bendy's horrific final form in Chapter 5 pulled away the cartoon facade and refuted the demon within. Yeah, he fully showed himself. Although I am sad they removed his cloth. Because here he has that like animation cloth and here it is gone. And also I would rather have his bow tie still on a little bit. But hey, I'm not a developer. It's just some points that I would have loved. But yeah, further on, just the cloths and the bow tie, I love it. I would extremely love this character. It was a nice transformation, to be honest. Ink Bendy. Ink Bendy. You're moving. I'm going to come to that later. Ink Bendy, as well known him today, although similar to Beta Bendy, this upgrade version was remodeled, enhanced with a higher polygon count and given new ink effects. Yeah, I noticed that. Like, he has that ink that is flowing down him. But if you look at him, his spine is actually coming out. And that was the first thing I noticed when I restarted the game. Like, his spine was out. I already heard that he had a makeover, but his spine was out and it was more like a corpse, actually. So that was something I loved. Because this is the original Bendy. I don't know why it's moving. I think this is the inked effect that they went with before. And it looks more like he's like in heat warming status. But the problem what I had with this Bendy, because this Bendy couldn't fit through under the door. But this Bendy could fit easily through a door. Like, I always had the problem with the Tommy gun that he was stuck at the door. And I last tried to get the Tommy gun, he just walked through that door. It was amazing. I loved it. Beta Bendy, this was Ink Bendy's form until the release of Chapter 4. So after Chapter 4 came out, they came with this thing because it looked more terrifying. And let's be honest, he beaten the projectionist, so that is also very cool. At that time, the game received a major visual upgrade, and the title chapter got a new model as well. Yes, that was true. It was amazing. The whole upgrade in the first level, it was godly great. Look at that one. He's so muscled. He's like walking on his arms. What's he doing? Yeah, he was doing that. What's this? Oh, that's Alpha Bendy. I know which Bendy this is. Yeah, this is the Bendy that tries to grab you the moment you're at the ink. When you try to open up the ink machine. It's like just standing there in front of you. Like, oh yeah, hi, I'm Bendy. You should run, by the way. That he was not reaching out from you from out the crates, where this Bendy actually did try to grab you once you was trying to go back to the ink machine. So yeah, this is the original game used design of Ink Bendy from the earliest version of Chapter 1. It is jokingly referred to bird poop with a smile. Just poop with a smile. Among the development team. Bird poop with a smile. Really? Yeah, I can see that, but they came with this, and then they didn't show it in Chapter 2. Or they showed them in Chapter 2 and it became already this. Like, he didn't have his bow tie, his head wasn't that round anymore, he didn't have any effects on him. And then they came up with this, just 2 titles later. That's amazing. And what is this? This is something I haven't seen before. So that is the concept art he has for Bendy. It more looks like bird poop combined with the regular Bendy and then the body and the legs of the Alpha Bendy that it became eventually. But what is this? Because I never seen this. Concept Bendy. This is it before it even became this then. Oh my god. This is the first version of Bendy ever modeled. In the earliest concept, Bendy was much smaller and cuter, with a face that split open to reveal a terrifying mouth. Yeah, that would have not really scared me. So closed, it would just be this cute little Bendy with no mouth and just giant anime eyes and a big giant head and eyeballs. And it just became that. They just became this eventually. And then just this, and then just that. That's amazing. Now we have to keep out danger, but I am not certain you can do anything with that. Seems there has to be something behind it. Henry's... Great, there's no point in there. Can I stand on it? Here, Henry's here. Oh. It actually gave me achievement. I did actually not know that this was going to be. I was like, oh, and then it was that. Oh, I did not notice that. Bendy and Ink Machine. I also didn't notice the "She's Quite a Gal" sign on top there. Oh yeah, that is the first image that you see of Joey Drew's studios. You see it in the last episode where I went to the maze to get the ink balls, and that was in his office, in Joey Drew's office. The same thing is at the first chapter. When you walk in, it's just in front of the fraction next to it. So yeah, it looks amazing, by the way. Okay, so Henry style. We are still Henry then. Once an equal business partner of Joey Drew, Henry Stein was a talented animator and character designer until leaving the company around 1930. His place in Joey Drew's studio history is somewhat undocumented, but he is often rumored to be the true creator behind many of the studio's most memorable characters. Yeah, Joey was the brain and Henry was the artist, but when Henry left, Joey's Drew Empire just went to zero. So this was the original ink machine. It was small, it was it was really small. Before a major visual upgrade, this version of the ink machine was the only used in the game. The one used in the game. Much of this machine iconic fan love design was translated into the final version. So this is the first version of the ink machine, and you could actually walk around it in game and already seen everything back then, but they actually left it in now. There's some light there, plants, another chair. This is Bertram. At least a hat. I don't think it's the real Bertram. I think this is something that Bertram created inside the machine just to make us think it was him. I think Bertram became one of the ink people, actually. That's my understanding of it. And then we have these guys. Oh yeah, he had a pocket. But it's not empty, it's just been going over there. Did he also have that little aim thing that I saw on the concept art? He didn't. Like there he has an aim head, and he doesn't have it here. Also, the fisherman doesn't have a sign with liar on it. And he did not just get a pole in his head. He got actually a little bit of a flagship, actually. He did give them the same tool and on the same hand. With the demented face and cigarette for his mouth. And we have the pipers opening his mouth, eye out, having a wrench in his hand. Does he have? Oh, here he has a pipe, but it's just because sometimes they have different weapons. And indeed, he didn't have his hand. I have noticed that. And then you have the striker. They actually came true to the words on this one. Except for the double arms, actually. It looks cool, by the way. So this is the Butcher Gang, the most feared thing in the world. The Piper, Striker and Fisher make up the dreaded Butcher Gang. And strictly the incorrupted version of the chapters were designed first and then were reverse engineered back into the more manual friendly cartoon forms. Huh? The incorrupted versions of the characters were designed first and then were reverse engineered back into the more family friendly cartoon forms. Oh, so they changed it. They changed them, and then later they were we're just going back to the normal cute voice, on cute scene of them. That's interesting. It's a shame that you cannot see the projectionist here. That's the only one I'm missing here, and there's not more text. But I think they will edit that, or we have to unlock that by unlocking achievements. If that is that, then that would be cool. And I bet that the reason why you cannot get here is because you actually need to get the stuff in. Enter the machine, that's the object. No, hidden immediately. It's probably behind there. It's probably behind the ink machine, maybe. Enter the ink machine. No, it's not this machine. You have to enter. No, there are no other things that's close by. So, do we have to enter? How do we enter this machine? I bet you can't. It just says enter the machine. Just for fun. I think there is a machine, but you cannot find it here, I think. Or you do, and you just have to find it out. So that's the whole archive of Bendy and the Ink Machine. I am going to play it a second time with the visualizer and see what hidden messages we all missed, actually. So thank you very much for watching. I've been DarkWolfNL, and I will see you later. Bye.